World War I was a global conflict that reshaped the world. It left an indelible mark on history. But many of its heroes remain unsung. These are the forgotten stories of courage and sacrifice. They deserve to be told. The Great War wasn't just fought in the trenches of Europe. It spanned continents and oceans. It touched lives far beyond the Western Front. From the deserts of Africa to the mountains of Asia, brave men and women fought. They served. They sacrificed. These unsung heroes came from all walks of life. They were soldiers, nurses, and spies. They were factory workers and farmers. They were mothers and fathers. Each played a vital role in the war effort. Their stories have been overshadowed by the grand narratives of battles and politics. But history is not just about the famous generals or the decisive battles. It's about the millions of ordinary people who lived through extraordinary times. Their courage, their resilience, their humanity, these are the true stories of World War I. It's time we listen to them. Women played a crucial role in World War I. They stepped up when their countries needed them most. They broke barriers and challenged societal norms. Their contributions were vast and varied, yet their stories often go untold. Nurses were the unsung heroines of the battlefield. They worked tirelessly in field hospitals. They saved countless lives under horrific conditions. Nursewomen like Edith Cavell risked everything to help Allied soldiers. She paid the ultimate price for her bravery. Her execution by German forces shocked the world. Spies like Mata Hari captured the public imagination. But many female spies worked in secret. They gathered crucial intelligence at great personal risk. Women like Louise de Bettigny operated vast spy networks. Her work was vital to Allied success. Yet her name remains largely unknown. Back home, women kept the war effort going. They worked in factories, producing munitions and supplies. They took on jobs traditionally held by men. Women like Flora Sanders even fought on the front lines. She became the only British woman to officially serve as a soldier in World War I. These women changed the face of warfare forever. The home front was just as crucial as the battlefield. Women played a pivotal role here too. Their efforts were vital to the war effort. Mothers and wives bore the emotional burden of war. Their strength and resilience were remarkable. Even in politics, women made their mark. Their efforts paved the way for future generations. Propaganda was a powerful weapon in World War I. It shaped public opinion and boosted morale. Both sides used it extensively. Its impact was far-reaching and long-lasting. It's a crucial, often overlooked aspect of the war. Propaganda artist posters were a key tool of propaganda. They urged men to enlist and women to support the war effort. Images of heroic soldiers and demonized enemies were common. These posters played on emotions and patriotism. They were designed to inspire and sometimes to frighten. Newspapers and magazines were carefully controlled. They presented a sanitized view of the war. Censorship was widespread. Bad news was suppressed or downplayed. This helped maintain public support for the war, but it also created a distorted picture of reality. Film was a new and powerful medium for propaganda. Newsreels showed sanitized versions of battles. They portrayed the war in a heroic light. These films shaped how people at home viewed the conflict. They created a narrative that often differed from the harsh realities of the front lines. Section 5. Letters from the Trenches, Voices of the Forgotten. Letters from soldiers provide a unique window into the war. They reveal the human side of the conflict. These personal accounts tell stories of fear, hope, and longing. They are the voices of those who lived through the horror of war. Soldiers wrote home about their daily lives in the trenches. They described the mud, the rats, and the constant danger. But they also wrote of camaraderie and small moments of joy. These letters paint a vivid picture of life on the front lines. They bring history to life in a way no textbook can. Many letters never reached their destination. Some were lost in the chaos of war. Others were censored by military authorities. But those that survived are precious historical documents. They give us insight into the thoughts and feelings of ordinary soldiers. Reading these letters today is a powerful experience. We can feel the writers' homesickness and fear. We can sense their courage and resilience. These letters remind us that wars are fought by real people. They had hopes, dreams, and loved ones waiting for them. Their words bridge the gap of time, making history personal and immediate. Section 6. African Soldiers, the Forgotten Warriors. Africa played a significant role in World War I, yet this chapter of history is often overlooked. African soldiers fought bravely on multiple fronts. Their contributions were crucial to the Allied war effort, but their stories have been largely forgotten.
Over 2 million African soldiers and workers were involved in the war. They served in their home countries and in Europe. Many were conscripted, forced to fight in a war not of their making. Their bravery and sacrifice were equal to any European soldiers.
The East African Campaign was one of the longest of the war. It lasted from 1914 to 1918. African soldiers bore the brunt of the fighting here. They faced harsh conditions and deadly diseases. Their local knowledge was invaluable to both sides.
African troops also fought in Europe. The French army included many soldiers from their African colonies. These men fought bravely on the Western Front. They faced not only the enemy but also racism from their own side. Their contributions were often downplayed or ignored after the war.
Untold tales of bravery. The Middle East was a crucial theater in World War I. It saw some of the war's most dramatic campaigns. The bravery of local fighters and Allied forces deserves recognition.
The Arab Revolt was a key event. T.E. Lawrence played a famous role. Their courage changed the Middle East.
The Gallipoli campaign was a bloody affair. Anzac troops fought bravely. The campaign forged national identities.
In Mesopotamia, British and Indian forces faced Ottoman troops. The siege of Kut was tragic. The bravery in this harsh environment was remarkable. Section 8. Asian battlefields, overlooked sacrifices. Asia played a significant role in World War I, yet its contributions are often forgotten. From India to China, Asian nations and peoples were deeply involved. Their sacrifices and bravery deserve to be remembered.
India made a massive contribution to the war effort. Over 1 million Indian soldiers served overseas. They fought in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Their bravery was remarkable, often in unfamiliar and harsh conditions. Many never returned home.
China sent thousands of laborers to support the Allies. They worked behind the lines in Europe. Their contributions were crucial but often overlooked. These men faced discrimination and danger, yet they played a vital role in the Allied war effort.
Japan, as an Allied power, played a significant role in Asia and the Pacific. They seized German colonies and protected Allied shipping. Their navy escorted Anzac troops to Europe. This involvement had long-lasting effects on Japan's role in the world. Section 9. Animals in War, silent heroes on 4 legs. Animals played a crucial role in World War I. Their contributions are often forgotten, but they were true heroes of the conflict. From horses to pigeons, they served bravely alongside human soldiers. Horses were essential to the war effort. They transported supplies and pulled artillery. Cavalry units still played a role in many theaters. Millions of horses died during the war. Their sacrifice was immense and often overlooked. Dogs served in various roles during the war. They were messengers, sentries, and search and rescue animals. Some, like Sergeant Stubby, became famous for their bravery. Dogs provided comfort to soldiers in the trenches. Their loyalty and courage saved many lives. Pigeons were crucial for communication. They carried messages across enemy lines. Many were awarded medals for their service. One famous pigeon, Sher Ami, saved a trapped battalion. These birds played a vital role in an era before advanced communications.
Section 10. The aftermath, unrecognized post-war struggles. The end of World War I didn't mean the end of struggles for many. Soldiers returned home to face new challenges. Their stories of post-war hardship are often overlooked, but they are an important part of the war's legacy.
Many soldiers suffered from what we now call PTSD. It was poorly understood at the time. Terms like shell shock were used, but treatment was often inadequate. Many veterans struggled in silence for years. Their invisible wounds were as real as any physical injury.
Physical injuries presented lifelong challenges. Medical care had improved during the war, but many were left with disabilities. Prosthetics were primitive by today's standards. Many veterans struggled to find work and support their families. Their sacrifices continued long after the war ended.
The Spanish flu pandemic hit just as the war was ending. It killed millions worldwide. Many weakened soldiers fell victim to the disease. This final tragedy is often forgotten in war histories, but it had a massive impact on post-war recovery. Section 11. Conclusion: Honoring the Forgotten, Shaping Our Future. World War I was a conflict of unprecedented scale. It touched lives across the globe. The stories of its unsung heroes are vital to understanding its true impact. They remind us of the human cost of war. These forgotten heroes came from all walks of life. They were women who broke barriers. They were soldiers from distant lands. They were animals who served loyally. Each played a crucial role in shaping history. Their courage and sacrifice deserve our recognition. By remembering these stories, we gain a fuller picture of history. We see the war not just as a series of battles, we see it as a human experience, one that affected millions in countless ways. This understanding is crucial for our future. As we face new challenges, these stories can inspire us. They show us the resilience of the human spirit. They remind us of the true cost of conflict. By honoring these forgotten heroes, we honor our shared humanity. We ensure that their sacrifices were not in vain.